Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Jessica, the Health Fitness Program Manager from MITRE and McLean. I'm going to be guiding you through your amazing 45-minute mind-body focus practice today. We're going to mostly hang out on the floor and just enter the weekend as completely relaxed and mindful as we possibly can. Please feel free to gather whatever props make you most happy. I'm likely to need a lot of props today, but I'd rather you have it nearby in case you find that it honors you. We're going to start in Savasana in 5 minutes. If you're here early, I encourage you to lay down on the floor, start to come into your breath, relaxing your mind, change your mental channel, and I will meet you on our mats at 11:15. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, my needy doggy. Yeah. Even if you're super duper needy. Yes. One of my favorite little man. Do you wanna sit on the couch, little dude? I'd love if you wanted to sit on the couch. Let's drive the bird. What do you think, Uncle Buck? Oh, I'm sorry. That's not very nice. I'm sorry if I scared you. Oh my gosh, here's a peanut. Uncle Buck, it's too hot in here for your love. If you could enjoy yourself on the couch, that would be tremendous. Tremendous. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for coming to class. We're gonna go ahead and get started today in Savasana. So create that space for yourself on the floor, on your mat, and go ahead and just lay down. Start with your feet close together, maybe even heels touching and your toes fall open, and feel free to take a second as you first come down here. There's a hole right there. Onto your mat. To readjust yourself, readjust your shoulders underneath of you. Take a slight tucking of your chin towards your chest to get as much of your neck and your back flat on the floor as you possibly can. You can either have your arms close by your side with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Maybe one hand on your needy pet or children who might need your assistance. And take this moment, close your eyes and start to come into your breath. Finding the focus on yourself. Notice what else is on your mind right now. And how much of that can you just sweep aside for later? Think about using your exhales as if all of your stress were being blown up into a balloon, and every time you exhale, you release that stress out, and then that balloon floats away. You don't need to focus on or deal with that anymore. See if you can find your inhales in through your nose, and if it's comfortable and possible for you today, exhaling out through your nose as well. If that happens to feel uncomfortable, please feel free to exhale out through your mouth, but do know that breathing out through your mouth is going to create some extra heat within your body, within your space. So if you're already feeling really warm, continue to cool down your breath with your long, slow, deep inhales in through your nose, and relax and release your body and stay chill on the floor by breathing out through your nose as well. Start to notice the sounds that you hear in the room. And as you quiet your breath and you quiet your mind, notice what the furthest away sound is that you can hear today. Perhaps you're starting to practice some Ujjayi breathing, a slight constriction on the back of your throat, creating an inhale and exhale that sound a bit like a snoring sensation. Notice any tastes that you might currently find in your mouth. Things that you might smell. Just truly taking this time right now to enjoy your breath, to relax your mind, and to be aware of the space that you are surrounded by. Focus on enjoying this long, slow, deep breath throughout your entire practice, only coming into the postures as deeply as you can while still breathing fully. Just about 2 or 3 more breaths right here. Taking this time to ground ourselves down into the mat, into the floor, one with the earth. Take a little wiggle of your fingers and your toes. Start to walk your heels in towards the center line of your body. Press that lower back towards the mat as you draw both of your knees up. Keep your feet relaxed side by side. You can squeeze your knees in towards each other and start to make some circles. Just starting to find a little bit of a massage of that lower back pressed down into your mat. Continue to find some engagement of your abdominal core. So your belly isn't pressed out here. You're really working on pulling that space below your belly button in. There's still plenty of room to create some deep breaths, expanding your rib cage, expanding your lung capacity, filling up your diaphragm. Go ahead, change the direction of these gentle knee circles. Maybe even rolling a little bit on towards the sides. Finding what feels good for your body today. All right, from here you can either roll over onto your side and bring your upper hand down towards the mat to press yourself up, or gently find some rocking and sit yourself up in a seated position. Coming into Uttanasana, easy pose right here. Find the seated position that works for you. Take a moment, experiment, see which leg you like to have on top, which leg you like to have on bottom. If you always do the same thing, can you try something slightly different today? Just opening up a little bit more of our bodies. That didn't feel good. Okay. All right, feel free to really move your hips a little right and left. Find that grounding of your sit bones back down into your mat. Take a moment right here, come back into your stillness, into your breath. Once again, just noticing how your body feels today. Whatever it is that your body can do, be so proud of yourself for making this time, for enjoying some breath and movement. As you start to become a little bit more aware of what's happening with your spine right here, if you want, you can stretch up through the crown of your head with that still engagement of your belly. Notice if you're leaning forward or leaning backward too much, feel free to bring your hands to your knees to create a little bit of pressure to help you find that lift. Once more, engage your belly. Option to tuck your chin to your chest and find your length through the back of your neck, a little bit more of a stretch on the upper back shoulder area. Beautiful. 2 more breaths right here in your stillness and your focus, just on yourself. If you want to set an intention for your class, for your weekend, if you just want to share some energy, either with a person, a place, a thing, create that intention in your mind right now. If you don't have a specific intention, what sort of delightful thoughts can you pop into your head? Keep thinking about those good things. All right, let's take some little circles with our shoulders, just starting to warm up our bodies. Maybe there's some crunching and some cracking. Make sure you're still finding that engagement of your abdominal core. 2 more times in this direction. Take a moment with your shoulders pulled away from your ears, and let's go ahead, change directions. Keep breathing, keep pulling that belly in. Sometimes you just have to keep reminding yourself. Only you know what it is that, once you start to think about something else, it can be hard to continue that engagement other parts of your body. So just keep checking in with yourself, making sure that you are as engaged as possible. And let's come on once again back to our stillness. We're going to take a deep inhale, and as you inhale, pull those shoulders all the way up towards your ears, ground your sit bones into the floor, pull that belly in nice and tight. Keep up with that inhale, lungs full, squeezing shoulders higher, tighter. Exhale. Big exhale out through your mouth, the shoulders come down away from your ears. 2 more. Slow inhale. Left shoulder higher, belly tight, right shoulder higher, squeezing, lifting, full lungs, open your mouth. Loud, slow exhale out through your mouth. 1 more time. Inhale. Draw those shoulders up, pull that belly in, ground your sit bones, squeeze your sex organs, stretch up, hold it, exhale. Loud, slow exhale out through your mouth. Great, go ahead, bring your right hand fingertips down towards the mat. Gently start to walk your right hand fingertips away. We're working to bring your forearm down towards the mat, but we don't want to lift that left sit bone off of the mat as well. I like to bring my hands palms forward. I find it's a little bit easier to get my arm down. Maybe you just have your hands palms down, or maybe you want to use your pillow or your prop or whatever it is that you brought with you today to help find that easy reach grounding towards the floor. Pressing a little gently down into your elbow if your hand palm is down, finding some pressure there. Pull that belly in again, keep that left sit bone down, and then inhale your left arm up. Stretch it all the way up towards the ceiling. Find as much length as you can, stretching through your armpit, through your fingertips, through your sit bone. Take an inhale, turn your chin up towards your left shoulder. Look up at all 5 of your beautiful engaged fingers touching each other. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, turn your chin down towards your opposite shoulder. Pull that belly in again. One more deep inhale. Exhale, eyes forward. Relax that left hand down towards the floor. Lift yourself up. Stretch through the crown of your head. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Draw elbows back behind you. Pull that belly in once more. And let's come on over towards the other side. So gently relax out on your exhale. Bring your left hand down towards the mat. Feel free to bring your prop along with you, either stretching your fingertips away from you, a little bit of an extra stretch, or pointing your fingers forward towards the top of your mat. Pull that belly in tight. Keep your right sit bone down and inhale your left arm up. Really working to try and stack one shoulder on top of the other. Belly tight, right sit bone still in contact with the floor. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, turn your chin towards that right shoulder. Look up at all 5 of your fingers touching each other. Notice them stretching up towards the ceiling, finding as much lift and length as you can. Reground that right sit bone. Pull your belly in tight. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, turn your chin down to your left shoulder. Still reaching up through your right hand fingertips. Take one more inhale here as you look forward towards the front. Exhale to press into your hand onto the floor. Lift yourself up. Bring those right hand fingertips back down towards the floor. Take a moment, shake it out. Go ahead, bring your fingers up towards your shoulders to kiss towards your shoulders. Open up your chest once more and start with your elbows stretching down towards the floor. Elbows stretching down towards the floor. We're going to inhale. Bring those elbows forward. Start to find a little C curve of your spine. Hang out here. Fingertips still touching your shoulders, finding the stretch through your elbow. Maybe your chin tucks a little bit towards your chest. Big stretch in the mid and lower back. On your next inhale, stretch those elbows up towards the ceiling. Hang out here for just a second. Belly tight, extra lift. One more deep inhale. Exhale, pull those elbows back behind you. Try not to let that rib cage flare out too much right here. So still that engagement of your abdomen. Elbows just stretch back. One more inhale. Exhale, elbows stretch down towards the floor. Continue with your breath. Continue with these same movements, just moving a little bit more rapidly. Up, back, and down. Every time those elbows come forward, see if you can even kiss them together. We're going to go around 3 more times in this direction, maybe taking a little bit extra, stretching down, decreasing that space between your ribs and your lower hip. Last time around, we're going to stop at the up. So stretch those elbows up towards the ceiling. Then go ahead, pull them back. Pull that belly in tight, take a deep inhale, elbows down towards the floor, stacking your shoulders on top of your hips, sit bones grounded. One more deep inhale. Exhale, elbows forward. Maybe leaning back a little bit more weight in your sit bones than before. And now let's go with the same motion, same direction. So we got one direction to begin with, maybe getting a little bit more of your back involved. So bringing your chest forward as you work to kiss those elbows together, looking down towards your belly button, forward of your knees, up towards the ceiling. Last 2 times. Final one. Awesome. Take a moment, relax, release your fingertips down by your hips. Press the pads of your fingers into the floor, a little tenting of your fingers. Pull that belly in tight, open your chest, squeeze shoulder blades together, rolling shoulders down and back as if a string is lifting your chest, sternum up towards the ceiling. Make sure that your chin is still neutral to your chest right here. All right, you can keep your hands here by your hips. Feel free to become a little bit more passive in your hands and your fingers, or you can bring your hands to your knees. We're gonna go ahead and take some circles, really just working to warm up that upper body as much as possible, whichever direction feels good for you, but I want you to create the circles starting with your nose. So starting off really small, like the size of a dime, move into the size of a quarter. Make sure you still have this nice, straight, lifted spine. So hands on your knees can help you if you find that you're collapsing back, and hands at your hips can find you lifted up as well. Just finding that nice lift and length. Yeah, circles with the nose. Keeping this direction, continuing to get a little larger each time you come through. Refocusing on that engagement of your core, even if you have your hands on your knees or by your hips. By now you should be around the size of a dinner plate, or as large as feels good for you. Feel free to take a second to even hang out in part of the stretch if it feels really tight, tense, or uncomfortable, even bringing your fingertips to help you massage out those tense spots in your neck. Last 2 times around. And the next time your chin comes towards your chest, hang out there for an extra second. Once more, open your chest, squeeze shoulder blades together, ground your sit bones. Elbows gently draw back, and we're going to change directions of our circles. Start out nice and slow, going in the opposite direction. This time as large as feels good for you to begin with. So take your time. Feel free once again to hang out for an extra second, just sending your breath to those tense spots, still working to find that lift of your chest. Every time you go around, making your circle a little bit smaller. Still finding length through the back of your neck. Coming down to the size of a cupcake liner. A quarter. A dime. And then stillness. Beautiful. Go ahead, bring your hands back towards your hips. We're going to kick our legs forward. Let's go sideways. Kick our legs forward and take a moment right here in staff pose. If you need to, you can tent your fingertips on the floor. Try not to lean too far forward or too far back. So you might think about drawing your shoulder blades together. You don't want to overarch your back or flare that rib cage here. So as if you're knitting your ribs together, holding on to a quarter right here. If this is a little too much on your legs, feel free to take a slight bend of your knees. Keep pulling that belly in. Keep stretching up through the crown of your head. And next we have caterpillar. So we're going to walk our hands forward. Think about coming in by bringing your chin away from your chest to bring your belly towards your knees. You might even find that you need to use your hands to actually push your butt back just a little bit to get that belly on your knees. If you have your chin away from your chest, it can help take that rounding out of your back, chin towards your chest, puts the rounding back in there. So feel free to take as generous of a bend of your knees right here as you need to get your belly on your thighs. And once your belly's on your thighs, again, you can move your hips back one butt cheek at a time, keeping your belly on your thighs. As we just melt forward as much as feels good for us. If this is too much, think about bringing your hands to your head. Just taking a little bit of stillness right here in caterpillar. As much as you can, flex your toes back towards your face. If your legs are straight, continue to enjoy the stretch on the back of your legs. Make sure your shoulders didn't pull up towards your ears. If your hands are on the floor, you can gently press into your hands' palms. Find a little bit more length, eyes forward of your toes. And change. Gently begin to walk yourself up. Let's come into half dragonfly. So you're going to kick your right leg out and you're folding your left leg in. Left leg comes, left foot sole comes towards the inside of your right thigh bicep. Let's start facing forward. So don't turn towards your right foot just yet. Flex those toes back towards your face. Pull your belly in tight. Bring your hands in front of you. We're going to gently walk forward as much as you can while still having both of your butt cheeks on the floor. So we're looking to come into this stretch actively, chin away from your chest, not chin tucked towards your chest. So you can press your hands palms into the floor. You can press your fingertips into the floor if your hands palms feel too far away. Or don't walk super far forward. Hang out right here. Just one more breath. Walk yourself back up towards center. Reground those sit bones. We're going to take a twist. So you're going to take your left hand fingertips back by the base of your spine. As soon as you bring those fingertips into the floor, press into the floor. Find that lift of your chest. Find that openness of your shoulders, squeezing shoulder blades together, and your right hand fingertip is going to come somewhere along your left leg. If you can bring it to the outside of your thigh, great. If you can touch your knee, if all you can do is touch your ankle, all of those are fine. Find a little bit of pressure of your hands palm on your thigh, on the floor, to lift yourself up, pull that belly in nice and tight. And when you are lifted, then slowly, gently start to turn and twist in the opposite direction of your straight leg. Continue to flex all 5 toes on your straight leg back towards your face. Lifting up through the crown of your head, lift that chest sternum, or maybe you're just hanging out a little more forward because you find that you're bringing that collapse back to your chest. I want you to really work to take this collapse out. Finding some rotation right here from the center of your body. Take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, gently walk your hands forward. And let's sandwich our right leg with our fingertips. Right hand on the outside of your right thigh, left hand on the inside. Once again, press your fingers into the floor, find that lifted length. We're just going to walk ourselves forward. As far forward as you can go. This time you can find some rounding in that back. As your chin tucks towards your chest, the more your chin tucks towards your chest, the more your head comes towards your knee, the more you're going to feel this big stretch all throughout the left side of your body. Even work to draw those left shoulders forward, right shoulder comes back. So I'm bending my left elbow and working to straighten my right arm out to create more of a stretch, flexing all 10 toes back to your face. Maybe you can even kick your heel forward, lock your knees so much that your heel lifts up off the floor. Keep that belly pulled in. And change. Walk your hands back to center. Go ahead, bring one hand behind each of your hips. Kick your right leg in front of you. Bring your left leg to meet it. Take a moment. Bob your feet. Windshield wipe your knees. And we're going to go ahead and do the other side. So drawing your right leg in. Creating about a 90-degree angle with your legs here. It doesn't have to be 180 degrees in length. Maybe it's even a little bit less for you. You got to do you. Flexibility is learned. If you find, let's come into this and I'll tell you more about it. All right, first we're going to Stay lifted, so start with your fingers by your hips. So you can hang out right here in this lift. If you want to come a little bit deeper, bring your fingertips in front of you. Still having that string lifting your chest up, chin away from your chest. Active back as we come into this forward stretch. If you are trying to work more on your flexibility, do some yoga early in the morning. If you're trying to work a little bit more on engaging your muscles to find these postures, try some yoga later in the evening when you've already been working all day and you're a little bit tired. All right, still lifting up that chest sternum, pull that belly in tight, make sure your sit bones are still grounded, make sure you didn't roll only onto that right butt cheek. Go ahead, walk your fingertips back in, lifted length. Bring your right hand fingertips somewhere by your hip or by the base of your spine. Press those fingers into the floor. So as you press your fingers into the floor, your right shoulder starts to draw back, chest is open, upper back is engaged, and your left hand fingertips come anywhere along your left thigh that feels good for you today. Apply some pressure into those fingers. Stretch through the crown of your head. Chin is gently tucked towards your chest, neutrally, just not stretching up towards the ceiling. As you use your exhale and find this twist. Keeping that left glute on the mat, just coming into as deep of a twist as feels good for you, feeling it ideally in your lower mid-back, left side of your body. Relax and release your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch through the crown of your head. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale, gently come forward. One hand at a time. Right hand comes to the inside of your left thigh. Left hand comes to the outside. And this time, remember, you can find some rounding. So feel free to tuck your chin towards your chest. Little C curve of your spine as you start to walk your hands forward. Only walking forward as much as you can while still keeping both glutes on the mat, pulling that belly in nice and tight. You can even press a little into your hands palms to create more of a stretch in that back. Flex your toes continuously back towards your face. One more deep inhale. And on your exhale, walk yourself back in. Let's go ahead, kick our legs open all the way, coming into full dragonfly. You can either wiggle your heels back a little bit more or bring your hands to the mat to help you shift yourself forward. Just coming into as open as feels good for you today. Still enjoying this lift right here. We're going to be active in our forward folds this afternoon. Belly pulled in nice and tight, sit bones grounded. Coming forward as much as you can while still having this lift in your chest sternum. If already bringing your hands in front of you makes you collapse your chest, once again, bring your hands by your hips. Find this big lift right here. Make sure if your eyes are open there, just focus on one spot. Remember, if your eyes are moving around the room, your mind is moving around the room. Take one more deep inhale. And next we're going to do my favorite. We're just going to bounce our feet back to center. Boop, 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 boop. So bounce your knees. Yay! Oh my God, I just think that's so silly. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to come on into tabletop. Come into tabletop on your space. Spread your fingers as wide as you possibly can. Think about lining up your middle finger or your pointer finger with the edge of your mat if you're using a mat, just so your hands palms are straight. Give yourself a couple cat-cows right here. Remember, I've been talking today about our wrists and whatnot, so if your wrists are really uncomfortable, even in something right here, like cat-cow, you can always make fists on the floor to be a little bit more supported. And just know if you're having some wrist pain, we put up a modification about that this week. Some great exercises you can do in that time before class actually starts to warm up your body, because only you know what you need before each class. Awesome. All right. So bringing those hands, palms down towards the floor once more. Spread those fingertips wide. Elbow creases can gently face towards each other, or maybe shine forward if you have delightfully hyperextendable elbows like I do. Let's take a moment right here in bird dog. Make sure you have some space for yourself, keeping your left hand down, your right knee down on your mat. You're going to send your right leg behind you, starting with just the right leg. Oh my God. I totally just said two different things. We're still starting with the right leg. Right leg stretches behind you. I want you to squeeze your glute and really stretch through that toe. Your leg is so active. Pull your belly in tight, pull your shoulders away from your ears, and then send your left hand fingertips forward. Don't look at me. Look down at the floor, about a foot in front of where your fingers are. Stretch from your left hand fingers, stretch through your right toes, find that length, and then create some circles. So your glutes are still engaged, your belly is still tight, your shoulders are not creeping up towards your ears. Change direction of those circles with your ankles, with your wrists. And then change, release your left hand down, release that right knee down. Feel free to shake it out. If your wrists are tired, maybe taking a second to really shake those wrists out. And then let's go ahead and get the opposite side. So spreading those fingers out nice and wide. Right knee stays grounded to the mat. Pull your belly in as you press that right knee down. Press into your hands, palms, and the pads of your fingers. Full engagement of your hands. And then you're going to stretch your left leg out behind you. Start to squeeze your glute. Point your toe. Pull your belly in. Back engaged. Shoulders away from your ears. Length through your left leg. Ground your left hand down on the mat. Eyes forward on the floor as you stretch your right hand fingertips in front of you. Just taking a moment right here in your length and your engagement, pressing into your hands, palms. No shoulders coming up towards your ears. Start to make some circles with your ankles, with your wrist in one direction, in the opposite direction. Go ahead, release your right hand down, release your left knee down towards the mat. Take a moment, send your hips back towards your heels. Just being so kind in child's pose today. Awesome. We're going to pull ourselves forward from child's pose and come on into melting heart pose or puppy pose. So your hips are going to lift up off of your heels, and then your hips stay right on top of your knees. If you have trouble with this one, you can always send your hips a little bit closer back towards your heels, but you're going to walk your hands forward and work to release your chest down on the mat. A big opener of your back and of your shoulders. If you need to be a little bit more passive, place your forehead on the floor. And if you are already getting your chest down towards the mat, stretch your chin forward. Walking your hands a little bit further apart can make it a little bit easier for you to get that chest sternum down towards the floor. Or feel free to place that block or a prop under your chest. We're going to be here for 3 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Pull yourself forward, coming all the way forward into Sphinx pose. Melting your pubic mound down towards the mat. You might need to walk your fingertips a little further forward to get your elbows right underneath of your shoulders. Let's be passive here to begin with. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. You can separate your feet as much as you need to. Press the backs of your feet onto the floor to activate your glutes, activate your back. Nice active lower body. Even with my chin tucked towards my chest, I'm trying not to bring my forehead too close towards the mat because I want to enjoy more of a stretch on my lower back. So pressing into my elbows, even pressing my hands, palms into the floor to lift myself up, looking down towards my chest and my elbows. And now let's be a little more active. Take a deep inhale as you stretch your eyes, nose, chin, and just look forward. Once again, pulling those shoulders away from your ears. Big stretch in that lower back. One more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, relax yourself down. Make that pillow with your hands. Place your forehead on your pillow. Bend your knees and windshield wipe your feet. Right and left, right and left, right and left. We're going to take a spine twist on our bellies here. Squeezing all that junk out of our backs. Go ahead, stretch your arms out towards the side. You're going to press into your right hand palm as you bend your right leg, rolling onto your left hip to just bring your right foot behind you somewhere. Make sure that your left hand palm is still in line with what feels like your shoulder, not stretching up towards the top of your mat or down towards your feet. And then you can make this stretch as much of a spine twist if you want by walking your right hand fingertips away, maybe even opening that right knee up a little bit more. Or if you want to bring it more into a shoulder stretch, walk your right hand fingertips closer towards your chest, roll over onto your side as much as feels good for you. I'm going to walk that right foot in a little bit more to focus on the shoulder stretch, in which case you really want to make sure that you're doing your best to keep your left hand fingertips in line with that left shoulder. So either just enjoying the spine twist or working on whatever combo of this spine twist, shoulder stretch feels good. Come into some stillness right here. Focus on sending your exhale to any tense spots. Last 2 breaths. Beautiful. On your exhale, roll yourself back down towards the mat. We're going to take a quick savasana on our bellies. So relax your arms down by your side. Palms face up towards the ceiling. Bring your toes together and turn and place your left ear on the mat to get a nice little stretch of our necks. Feel free to really relax and release. Find some rounding in the shoulders right now. Shoulders come down towards the mat. Take all of the tension out of your body. If you do still have your eyes open, find one spot to focus your eyes on the floor. Back to your slow, relaxed breath. Can you come into that nostril breathing now that we're close towards the end of class? If you were still breathing out through your mouth, just give it a try. Great, let's take a spine twist or that shoulder stretch again. So once more, stretch your arms out to the side in a T, palms facing down towards the floor. You can rearrange your feet so your toes aren't pointing in towards each other. You're gonna press into your left hand palm, bend at the left knee, pushing into that palm as you lift yourself up and over. Squeeze the stuff. Remember, option number 1 is just to hang out right here. You can even keep your legs closed. Focusing mostly on this spine twist. If you're having more of an issue in those shoulders though, walk your hands closer towards center and roll over onto your right side. The more you roll over onto the right side, the more you're starting to feel that stretch in the right shoulder, in the pec. And if you want to, you can then even again walk your left hand fingertips out and create the stretch along your spine, along your whole back. Find that spot on the floor to relax your eyes, relax your mind. Let's do a little bit more spine strengthening here. Take one more deep inhale.
On your exhale, we're gonna roll ourselves back onto our bellies. Once again, bring your hands down by your side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Find that rounding in your upper back, shoulders, tips of shoulders, kiss the mat, eyes looking towards the left, right ear on the floor, toes can face towards each other, heels come out. So the opposite of Savasana on our backs. We're gonna do 2 more spine strengtheners, and then we're gonna have to roll over and lay on our backs for Savasana. So fast. All right, point those toes directly behind you, and I want you to bring your legs together so that your heels are touching each other, squeezing those thighs together. You're gonna bring your hands, palms, in line with your chest, so that your fingertips, if you touch your fingertips down, your shoulders touch right on top of your fingertips, and your little baby finger is just in line with your deltoid, with the outside of your shoulders. All right, so before we do anything else, stretch your eyes, nose, chin out on the mat in front of you. Bring those feet back together in case they separated. Press the tops of your feet into the floor so your kneecaps lift up. Squeeze your glutes, push your pubic mound down towards the floor. We're gonna take a lift on our inhale. So I want you to take a big exhale, get all your stale air out. As you start your inhale, keep your belly button to the floor, eyes, nose, chin, peel up. Very little weight or pressure in your hands, palms. Elbows are stretching down towards the hips behind you. Look up towards the ceiling. No weight or pressure in those hands, palms. Just the manipulation of your back that you can find. Take one more deep inhale, look up, lift, and exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Nose touches on your mat or towel, relax your arms by your side, bring your left ear back down towards the mat, find that rounding of your shoulders. Another gentle stretch of your neck. We're gonna do that same one more time. Great. Walk your fingertips back where they were just a moment ago. Thumbs towards the inside, really pressing your hands, palms down. Your arms are close by your side. Stretch your eyes, nose, chin out on the mat in front of you. You might already feel that deep engagement of your throat. Bring your feet together. Press the tops of your feet into the floor so that your kneecaps lift up off of the mat. Squeeze your glute. Glue your pubic mound down. This time before you lift up, if you didn't last time, already start to find some rounding of your shoulders pulled down away from your ears. So elbows stretch down towards the floor. Go ahead, take your big exhale, and on your inhale, filling up your belly like a balloon, make sure that your belly button stays down on the mat. Very little weight or pressure in your hands, palms. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Take one more deep inhale, look up, lift up. And exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Go ahead, bring your right ear back towards your mat. Arms relax down by your side. Toes come towards each other. Heels fall open. We're gonna do one more spine strengthener here on our bellies. We're gonna try full locust as well. Great, walk your fingertips out towards the side, just like we did for our spine twist. You might even, for this one, want to bring your fingertips up a little bit more towards a Y. Go ahead, once again, squeeze your legs together, heel toes are touching. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. The knees are engaged. Take a deep exhale, and on your inhale, eyes, oops, I need to move forward. Eyes, nose, chin, everything lifts up at the same time like a 747. Keep your hands, palms in line with your ears, and on your next inhale, lift your arms up in line with your head. Look up, squeeze, lift up, And exhale, slowly lower down. Once again, bring your wings into your mat. Place your left ear on the towel. Find that rounding of your shoulders. That release of your glutes, of your lower back. We're going to do it one more time. Once again, stretch those arms out to the side, in line with your shoulders, or slightly forward in a Y. Bring those legs together. Squeeze your heels together. Squeeze your big toes together. Squeeze your butt. Push your pubic mound down towards the floor. Feel your kneecaps lift up. Stretch your chin out on the mat in front of you. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Be as prepared as you can before you enjoy your exhale. Inhale like a balloon. Arms, head, legs, everything lifts up at the same time. Keep looking up with your eyes. Keep stretching those toes back behind you. Take one more deep inhale. Lift your hands up and back. And exhale, slowly lower yourself down. One more time. Fold your arms in by your side. One last Savasana right here on our bellies. Great. As you're ready, just gently roll over. Let's finish with some Savasana on our backs. Depending on how tired your back is from this long week, feel free to bend your knees if you need to. Maybe even placing a prop under your calves for a supported Savasana, or bringing those knees in towards each other. You can kick your legs out in front of you. We'll spend one more minute right here. If you can spend more than 1 minute in your final Savasana, I encourage you to stay here as long as possible. Taking this time to truly melt into your mat, set an intention for yourself to not get up until you've made a solid plan for yourself. Until you've made an awesome intention for your energy. So many intentions. All you can do is just try. Maybe your intention is just to put a smile on your face right now. All right, feel free to stay here all weekend if you can. But if you're like me and you have some other things to do and see, you're going to need to draw those knees in towards your chest. And you can either roll over onto your side and press yourself up, or enjoy rocking up once again like a ball into your seated position. Right? Time goes so fast when we're together, you guys. Take a moment, bring your hands, palms to the center of your chest. Create that warmth in your back, in your heart, in your mind as you tuck your chin to your chest and truly honor yourself. Thank you. Thank yourself for making this time for you today, for filling your mental cup. Think good thoughts, eat good foods, do good deeds, speak good words. Thanks as always for coming and sharing your energy, not just with me, but with each other. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we said or did today, if you have anything that hurts that we should focus on, please reach out. I hope you have a beautiful, mindful weekend. I can't wait to see you guys all again soon. Namaste.